You know, the funny thing about trying to create these videos on the fly is that I end up second guessing every word I say and wondering if it does it make sense? Does it come out right? Is it cogent? Do people think I'm an idiot? All that stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spiel and say what I need to say, and hopefully we'll get to the point. So the whole point of this video is just to kind of show and tell that I am going to go ahead and move forward with some of the primary aspects of my Ancestral Keys project. Last year, I know that we had talked about extensively that I was developing this methodology, this process that I was going to share with everybody, you know, that's interested, this method for touching base with your ancestors, reaching out to your ancestors, reaching out to your relatives, communing with your relatives. And life gets in the way of things sometimes. And I also know I'm wildly ambitious, and so sometimes I take on too much at one time. That's a persistent thing for me. But it's definitely one of those projects that it's been mulling around in my head for about 3 years. I can't let it go. I'm not letting it go, and I need to continue to move forward. So just yesterday, I was trying to figure out a method. What can I do to go ahead and move forward with this, make continued progress on it? And every time I created a plan, it was too much. It was the business expectations were bigger than I had for time. There was always a thing. And last night I went to bed thinking about it, and then this morning I wake up with this exceptional desire to educate, research, learn. Like, those were the things. Educate, research, learn. Educate, research, learn. Educate myself, research something, and learn about something. And it's almost like a project that needs to happen. And if I don't acknowledge it or follow its natural inclinations, I start chewing on my toes. Not literally, but metaphorically, if I was a puppy, right? Just chewing on my feet. So as I was working on this, or dealing with this thought, my wife asked me a question about some of my family members that I couldn't answer. And it's on a side of the family that I don't know a lot about. So she was kind of floored, and I was kind of floored, and I felt bad. And in that process of feeling bad and looking up the information, because it's like, I need to know this, and I still don't have that answer, it dawned on me that desire to educate myself, research something, and learn about something would be so well suited to my Ancestral Keys project in relation to my father's side of the family. Now, my father's side of the family is pretty obscure to me, and let me show you what I mean by that, because that's fun. I will change that now. My father's side of the family, let me show you what my ancestry.com looks like. So if we open the page, I'm sure the lighting is a little bit low, but when we open the page and I go to my tree, my stuff is new. That's cool. I have new things. Let me see if I can get to like the primary. Okay, so this is my ancestor tree. This is my family tree. There we go. And the funny thing is that if we zoom in, you have me, you have my wife, you have my son. That's awesome. You have my parents. That's great and all. But I have almost no information on my father's side of the family, and I have so much information on my mom's side of the family. So it's like I can go back some insane amount of generations. I'm actually going to show you how far this one goes. This is the male line on my paternal line on my mother's side of the family. So my maternal grandfather's men. So all the fathers of the fathers of the fathers. So just to kind of share that out. So grandfather, great grandfather, great great, so forth, so on, so forth, more so on, so forth, so on. Continue back. Going further, we've hit, I think, I messed this one up. I gotta actually edit this and delete this guy. I don't know if I can delete it here. Oh, not here. If I remember correctly. View profile, delete person. This one was not the person that I wanted to add. And it truncated part of my tree. That was my 14th great grandfather, supposedly. Oh, I'll have to reopen it. Okay. Let me show you. I'm sorry that my iPad is a little bit dirty today. We actually have a royal connection within the Gerard family, so that's kind of fun. You go further enough back. And in all reality, it's not really fancy. You go far enough back, everyone's related to royalty. But yeah, 1300s. We have some family members in the Cody line. And if I sneak... Who is it? Is it Paulina? No. There is a woman. I can't remember who she is, but she goes back to the 900s. Maybe it's Gerard. Let's go through the men. Do I have any up here? I don't have any up here. I swear I'm gonna like lose all this conversation trying to further this conversation. So the Fitzwalters, I was able to, because the Fitzwalters was a baron, this title is hereditary, so it is researchable, and I was able to go as far back as William Longsby, and if I remember correctly, he was the illegitimate son of King Henry, King Henry II of England. And if we go further back, it's just it keeps going. So I have this fortunate aspect of my genealogy that, 1113 as one of the Plantagenets, go further back. I need to research the dates on these people, view profile, to see if I can like legitimize my 36th great grandfather. Like, that's insane to me that I even have access to that kind of information. And this is just assuming that it's correct. I've done basic research, but not like the extensive where you have the vital information kind of research. And so this is only so clear, okay? I have all that info. And that don't even get me on my mom's side, like the full maternal line of the family. It goes pretty distant depending on where we look at. That's in the 1600s. 1655. I'm sure I have others as well. They all kind of do things, and I still have like additional research that I need to do, obviously. But the whole point that I'm saying with all this is that when it comes down to my parents, I have no information here about my father or my father's side of the family. And that's just unacceptable to me. I need to do better. And as a woman who has some pride in being a half Nigerian woman, having some culture, having my roots in that way, I need to know who these people are. So luckily my father is still alive, and while we do have a tenuous communicational relationship, it's awkward, strange, and weird and unusual, we do and can communicate. And so I've been fortunate that he's provided me some basic details regarding his family, like his parents, his grandparents, and his father's parents and his mother's parents. So I have a good place to start. Now, he's always told me that in Nigeria, the record keeping process isn't nearly as complex as we like to do it here in the United States or in England or in the UK or all these other places. So there may not be a whole ton in regards to public information regarding these people, but I do have a few excellent resources, and I can start working on it. I can start digging into it. And one of the places that I can do or start with is this little magazine that my I don't know if my father actually designed, but his brother passed away some time ago, back in 2021, and it has so much in it. And there was a little bit of contention when I first got it because something was said that I did not say, and it really hurt my feelings. But trying so much to put those things aside, because what really matters to me is the information, the genealogy here, the connections, the names, the history, the biography, all this stuff that is here. That's it. That's valuable information. So I'm going to, as always, or as I feel like as always, put that stuff aside and actually start to put this information in there I am, put this information into my resources and start building my family tree on that side of the family and start adding to it and doing some documentation and research. That's what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do actually in full reality is actually go ahead and deploy my Ancestral Keys program that I designed for everyone else. I'm going to deploy it for myself, share it with you all as I'm doing it, and give you the spreads, give you the content, give you the videos, give you the things that I am doing to understand who he is, my uncle, who my father is, who my family, who my ancestral lineage is on my father's side of the family. And all of that is going to be here because it feels important to do so. And not even just important, I feel called to do so. And I wanted to be able to go ahead and share this. Why not actually just hit the ground running with the process that I put together eons ago and just go with it. So let me give you the overview of what we're going to be doing. So first things first, I was going to show everybody like some useful supplies, and in all reality, no one needs anything. I would say a notebook is always good, maybe a free online resource. If you have tarot cards, even better, because a lot of this work is going to be tarot based, tarot focused, or use whatever you have available to you. You can get online, get a free app on your phone. That's an easy way to get tarot access. So there's so many ways to do this work without spending money. I'm going to be using predominantly everything I already have access to. I have notebooks, I have, some genealogy stuff, I have programs that I'm already subscribed to. And as they show up, I'll talk about them. We'll work it together. If you have questions, let me know so that I can kind of explore and dig in and maybe even provide some information that I've learned but doesn't apply to me. Like, I am first generation Nigerian. Like, my father came over from Nigeria as an adult. So I don't have a lot of the I believe it's the 1870 census brick wall that sometimes happens with a lot of African American populations, but I do have some of that basic information, so I can totally share. So yeah, we'll talk about useful supplies. You know what, in ancestral practice right now, in relation to this is my discovery phase of my practice, and that's what we're going to call it. I will definitely show some resources for deeper genealogical research, but that's just stuff that will show up over time. And as with any genealogy, any family stuff, there's emotions, and then there's energy, and then there's drama, and then there's rumors, and there's stuff. A couple of the things that I want to make sure that everybody knows is that there is not a soul in your family that is going to physically hurt you. Period. So anytime that people get scared, like, hey, they were not good people while they were alive, I'm scared they're not going to be good people while they're dead. I've never had that experience. I've been working this side of my skill set for some time. I'm not saying I know everything under the sun, but I've never once had a lived experience that showed me that souls can hurt me. Deceased loved ones can hurt me. I find that my mind will make up situations that cause me distress. But do they inflict the pain on me? I've never met a person who's had that physical one-on-one experience. So to me, it's not a thing. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to do it. It's whatever. So moving on. Week 1, and I'm kind of smashing week 1 and week 2 together, where I am cataloging my ancestors and also doing the learning phase with each person that I'm interested in digging in on. And I'm going to limit it to the first 14 ancestors, because if we go too far and do into the aunts and the uncles, you can, please feel free. I don't know if I'm going to be spending that kind of time. I think I want to stay on the direct lines. So that's where I'm going to stick. And I'll show you how to go through that. In week 3, and I say week loosely because in all reality, I have no clue how long this is going to take me. I'm casual with this, and I don't want to rush anybody else that's kind of doing this along with me. In week 3, I'm going to be talking about relationship dynamics. So, like, for instance, I have a complicated relationship with my father. So basically this week is going to be me understanding that relationship dynamic. Not so much to mend it, not so much to break it apart. However, I am going to be showing some cord cutting or cord affirming rituals, ideas, situations, meditations, those kind of things is just part of the work there. And the whole goal for me is to improve the relationship that I have with my father and that side of the family. Because for me, he feels like a gatekeeper in regards to my access to that family, and I don't necessarily want that to be the case. Something else that we'll do is dig into some of the ancestral and generational wounds that shows up. And I don't have the same background history, but I have my own. So we all need to work on our stuff, right? So I need to understand it, I need to learn about it, I need to see and understand how it affects me today and figure out a way to transmute that, because I don't want those wounds to continue down my line. With every wound, there are gifts. So week 5 is going to be talking about the ancestral gifts and the alchemy from our family and how we can like enhance that, how we can improve that, how can we unpack it, how can we, just allow that to bloom. And then something that I'm actually really, really interested in is digging into the land, the ancestral land in which I came from. Because I'm not just saying like land proper, like Nigeria proper. What I'm saying is I'm referring to the places in which they actually place their feet. I want to I know a method of kind of projection where you can kind of call the energy of that land to your aid, to your assistance, to your learning. And that's something that I'm going to share information on. I don't know if I'm going to be sharing my experience, but I'm going to be sharing some information on if we get to that point. And then as a bonus, something that I've always wanted to do is actually show you guys how we are based in soul groups, and how you can understand who's in your soul group, the dynamics of your soul group, the missions of your soul groups, and those kind of things. Originally, it was to be a course. It's not going to be a course now. It is basically just going to be this gift that I am building, making, creating, sharing, and showing basically as much as possible, as often as possible, so long as work and time allow. So that is the big nuts and bolts of it. And what I'm going to be doing for myself here in about 2 minutes, because I only have about 15 more minutes left in my work day, is actually sharing this beginning spread with you guys. And I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to post it either next to this video or in a secondary post, depending on what Facebook lets me do. But this is like an intro spread to introduce yourself to your ancestors on a particular line. So for me, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to share this with you, I'm looking at my African lineage. So I'm splitting myself in half: father side, mother side. Mother side, I know you very well. I'm going to put you off to the side for a quick second, and I'm going to focus on that side of the family. This spread is for that side of the family. So before you do the spread, I have a strong suggestion that you do something which I call as a declaration to your ancestors, which tells them who you are. They know who you are, but this is just also useful for you to know who you are. So let me show you what I did. There it is. Okay, so I wrote down briefly. I don't even know if it's in view. Kind of is in view. Let me stand up so I can show you here. I wrote down who I am. I am the daughter of Ezekiel Nwakwe. I'm the niece of Edward. I'm the granddaughter of Elizabeth and Nwakwe Amazaru. Names that I need to learn how to pronounce better. I am the great-granddaughter of this person, and beautiful other names that I need to learn how to pronounce and say correctly. And I ask them for guidance and support as I learn about this, thus learning about myself and where I have come from. I consider this declaration to be like the intro into communing with your ancestors or talking to your ancestors. You're telling them who you are. You're declaring to the universe your relationship to them, and it's kind of energetically waking them up. So not that they're asleep, but it's just kind of like rings the doorbell so that people can pay attention to you and the work that you're going to do. So draft yourself a little intro declaration, and then work on the first key tarot spread. This tarot spread has questions that are introducing you to your ancestors, plural, not just an individual. This is the collective ancestral community. And these are the questions that I'm running into. So there's 2 cards. One card is your ancestors representing themselves, your ancestors representing you, or your representation to your ancestors. Question number 1 is, what do you wish for me to know about our family? Question number 2 is, how may I best honor our family lineage? Question number 3 is, what gifts will this journey share with me? Question number 4 is, what challenges will I face in this journey? Number 5 is, how will I be changed by overcoming them? Question number 6 is guidance for me as I start this process. And then as a bonus, what medicine will this work provide me and my family? And this is the layout for that spread. So A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a circle, with that center being number 7, that bonus question here at the bottom. Actually, let me erase that so it actually says what this is instead of a bonus. Let's just make it part of the, there we go, part of the questions. This is my handwriting. I think a lot of this work, because I need it to be quick, I need it to be fast, I need to get it out there, I need to move it, will be kind of like this, where it's lightly decorated, not decorated, kind of neat, but handwritten, shared, so I can just get the information to you, because I don't want to get lost in the details or in the edits or that kind of thing. There's always room for that. I feel like time is of the essence and I want to get this to you. So I'm going to share with you this PDF so that you can use it, break it apart, do with it as you will. This will get you started. And over the next couple days, I'll be sharing with you how I do my first beginning outreaches to an ancestral guide to my first ancestors, and that process of getting to know and getting to speak to these individual people. So yeah, I hope you're looking I hope you're looking forward to it. I'd love for you to look forward to it, but no one's assuming that. I am looking forward to it. To me, that is all that matters, because I feel like I really need to get connected to these people, and I'm so looking forward to sharing that with you. And I'm glad that I finally get to put this process to good use. So yeah, you guys, thanks so much. Take care. Have fun. If you have any questions for anything that I rambled on about, totally let me know in the comments, and I'll answer everything that comes in. All right, take care. Bye.